Gandhi once said, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." In order to change the world, you need to look at the challenges that people face in their everyday lives. In December of 2005, I traveled with my family to India and truly saw some of the challenges people face there. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my experience in India, and hopefully at the end of this speech, you have a better understanding of what it's like to face the health challenges there. I'll be talking to you about what it was like when I first got there, the different health challenges I faced and learned about, and how this overall experience changed me. So let's first start off with what it was like when I first got there. Not only did my family and I have to deal with 18 hours of flying, but an additional 5-hour car ride from the airport to the village where my grandparents lived. The village was nothing like I'd ever seen before. There were stray dogs roaming around, cows wandering the streets along with other animals, and people farming throughout the village. The village was pretty small, so everyone knew each other, which was pretty cool. And everyone always left their doors open all day long, every day, so that people could just walk in and visit. The village was pretty nice, but once you left the village, things started to change. Though not all of India is in poverty, many areas are. And like this area that we would see when going to the city, you would see people living in shacks on the sides of the roads, little children running around, poorly clothed, and some weren't even wearing shoes. And this was all just a preview of the health challenges I had yet to learn about. I lived in Phoenix, Arizona my entire life, never knowing, like many of you guys, what it's like to live in poverty. India faces many challenges like lack of education, poor health care, lack of resources, poverty, and most of all, overpopulation. There are currently 1.23 billion people living in India right now, and with, according to the World Bank, nearly 70% of its population is living on less than $2 an hour. And on top of that, it's projected that India has 48 doctors per 100,000 people, which is not nearly enough. And even then, I've learned from personal experience with my grandpa being in the hospital, not all doctors are in it just for helping the patient. They will try to prolong your life just to make more money, and even then, they only work on the weekdays and not the weekends, which doesn't make much sense when if you have a serious injury and you're in the ICU, you're still gonna have that injury on the weekend, and you're gonna need 24/7 care. So, which will lead me to why I'm thankful I got the opportunity to go. So every other day, my family and I would go to that area of poverty and pass out food, water, and other supplies to the people that were living over there. We would try to talk to them and understand their stories and see how they're coping with these challenges on a daily basis. We also passed out toys that my siblings and I didn't use anymore, and it was incredible to see the looks on the little children's faces and how something so little like a toy could change their life, which is something that we take for granted in our society. This experience also impacted my future because it helped me feel the need to want to study abroad in India and hopefully get to know the healthcare system better and see how people are living there and try to understand their stories and try to make a difference. So those were my experiences in India. I told you about what it was like when I first got there, the different health challenges that I encountered and learned about, and how this overall experience has changed me. A majority of you have traveled outside the US, whether it was to go and help people or not, and about 80% of you have volunteered in the past and know what it's like to help other people. If you have never done something like this or had the chance to volunteer, I highly recommend that you do. It's very important that everyone tries to make a difference in someone's life because, like Gandhi said, you must be the change you wish to see in the world.